First of all, I would like to thank the friend who asked this question. It helped me do this research because of her question. I always wanted to have this content organized but never had a time. And in such a short notice, because of her question, I'm so grateful to her that there were team of people who had helped me. Remember, whenever something is done, it's never one person. So I had friends helping me out from Pakistan, Canada, and USA to gather the content, the research I will share with you today. So let us start with some zikr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Ya Mawla, I seek your help, Mawla. I seek your mercy to be able to speak to friends and deliver whatever is needed in their heart, Mawla. Ya Mawla, madad farma, mushkil kusha, madad farma. So the question which was asked last week, is Quran a book for Ismailis? And the understanding was that this book is storybook, book of history. Why do we need to read Quran if we have Ginans already? So in first part of my lecture, I'll refer to some Farameens of Maulana Hazri Imam and Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. So let us review the first Farman. Maula had given this Farman at Tajikistan on May 27th, 1995. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadi wa ali Muhammad. My beloved spiritual children, I am very happy to see how well you are learning Ginans and Quran. I would like you in your studies not only to look at what is written and what is compulsory upon Muslims, but I would also like you to take from its traditions, your own history, that which can help you in guiding your everyday lives, so as to live within the spirit of Islam. Quran says, Khalqakum min nafsin wahidatin. This means that God says to you, He is addressing men and women, and He says He has made you out of one soul. This means that you are at all times brothers and sisters, that He has created you from one soul. And it is only if you live within this spirit, within this understanding, that you can really act as a Jamaat and act as brothers and sisters, which indeed you are. So in this Farman, Imam is happy seeing what? Learning both Ginans and Quran. So the question would be, do we want to make Imam happy? The next Farman I refer to was delivered at Karimabad on 22nd November 1967. I came in and I heard several surahs of the Quran being recited. And I remind you of the Farman which I made to you in the past. I would like each and every spiritual child not only to know the dua by heart, but to understand the meaning of dua. Here Mawla says, I heard several surah. not only saying that he heard Jamaat reciting dua part. He said several surah, meaning that Quran was being recited, some of the chapters were recited and Imam was pleased, but then he's referring to Quranic verses in dua that learn the meaning of dua too. Not the translation, but the meaning of dua. Here we can draw that conclusion that Imam wants us to learn the Quranic surahs with its meaning. Here I would say there are signs Mola gives. Mola indicates, gives ishara. Isharas are for those who are wise. Then another farman delivered at Hyderabad, Pakistan, March 22nd, 1989. The Quran speaks about accounting. There is an accounting, and you cannot put the clock back. The time that you wasted is time which is impossible to make up. So here we would say that if we are not utilizing our time to learn Quran, accounting will be taken. Imam is giving us this farman with reference to Quran. I would take it as a wake-up call. Another farman Mola gave at Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, August 17th, 2007. The Quran refers very often to nature as a reflection of Allah's power of creation. And it says, look at the mountains, look at the rivers, look at the trees, look at the flowers, as evidence of Allah's love for the people whom He has created. Today I look at this environment and I say to you, I believe Allah is smiling upon you, and may His smile always be upon you. Shukran, alhamdulillah, ameen. In this farman, Imam is asking us to read Quran and reflect on its messages. And he's giving us the example of nature. Again, I would say that Imam is giving ishara, a sign, an indication. And isharas, the signs are only for those who are wise. Now let's review some of the Sultan Muhammad Shah's farman. Maula had made this farman at Zanzibar, June 5th, 1899. The ginans which Pir Sadruddin had composed for you, that is the essence of the Quran given in the Indian language. The ginans which Pir Sadruddin had composed for you, that is the essence of the Quran given in the Indian language. This is the farman, the basis, that if we have the ginan, which are the essence of Quran, why do we need to read anything else? So we will talk about this. I had to mention this ginan so we understand the basis of our understanding, why that question came up. Another farman, again at Zanzibar, July 13th, 1899. Mullah says, there is a need for such faithful people among you who has the knowledge of Quran as well as has the knowledge of the ginans, so that I would take each verse of ginan related from the Quran so it can be shared with the Jamaat. Now the question here would be, Imam is saying there is need for such faithful people, Imandar log. Were there no such faithful people that Imam could teach? Imam is indicating that the Jamaat does not know knowledge of Quran. What year was that? 1899. Now I would like us to relate to Pir Nasir Khusro, who wrote his books in cave more than 1,000 years ago. Imam was not there with him. He had a very limited time mulaqat with Imam. Very limited. He spent his most time with Dai Fiddin Shirazi. He had his didar with Imam, and Imam at that time only made him the Pir of Khorasan. He wrote books in the cave. Imam was not there. Then let's take example of Pir Sadruddin, who lived with Jamaat in Indo-Pak, away from Imam, wrote these beautiful ginans. And Imam says that those were written from the essence of Quran. They were derived from the essence of the Quran. So what we are saying here, that anyone who wants to learn from Imam, because Imam said, there is need for such faithful people among you who has the knowledge of Quran as well as has the knowledge of Ginans, so that I would take each verse of Ginan related from the Quran so it can be shared with the Jamaat. I hope we are paying attention. So Mawla is inviting to learn Quran so he can visit us in our batin to teach us Quran. And we have example of Pir Nasir Khusro, Pir Sadruddin. Now in same Farman, Mawla says, if 10 to 12 years before those who had read Quran-e-Majid were sent to me, we could teach all about our deen and laws from the Quran. If it would have had happened, how beneficial it would be. And deen had benefited too. Alhamdulillah, there are moments among you, but without certainty. They waste their time. There are moments among you, but without certainty. They waste their time. For them, if proof was given from the Quran, they would not have gone astray. Now this farman needs careful reading. Harsh farman, Mawla is again in 1899. And he's saying if 10 to 12 years before this time, if there were some people, Imam would teach them Quran. Imam desires to teach Jamaat Quran. But there is no basis in Jamaat, so Imam could teach them. And Mawla says, look at the words. Mawla says, there are moments among you, but without certainty. So they are followers, they are moments. Remember, Mawla is using moment here as a general term. Mawla is calling them moments, but he's saying they don't have any yaqeen. They don't have any certainty. Meaning they have doubts in their hearts. And proof from the Quran would have helped them. But Imam says that I don't find anybody. And he's wishing 10 to 12 years before, if there were people like that who had Quran's knowledge, he would have taught them. Someone may say here, oh, I don't have any doubts. That's why I don't need to learn. I'm good the way I am. Look at Imam's word when he says moments, meaning what? They are followers. Followers of blind faith. Those who follow physical deen. And those who follow physical deen, Imam has referred them as monkeys. Innocent heart, Mawla is calling them mu'min, but they have doubts. Doubts come from darkness. Knowledge is light. So yes, they do sing Ginan, they do know Ginans, but Imam himself is drawing our attention that they have no certainty in their heart. They waste time. They are coming to Jamaat Khana, Maula Papa. Maula is saying they waste time in 1899. So today for us the question would be, if we don't have doubts, okay, we don't need to learn. How about tomorrow our children asks us, how are we going to respond to them? Every individual is in different situation. Look around you, see around you, and find out, do you need to learn or not? Imam, again in Zanzibar on 14th September 1899, Mullah says, those who aspire to learn the Quran, they must learn from one who knows real meaning of the Quran. If you desire to learn Quran-e-Majid, become the student of those who know its true meaning. Here, Imam is saying that there are people in Jamaat who know the meaning of the Quran. You do not need to go out of your Jamaat to learn Quran. Generally, it is very commonly seen in Jamaat that if anyone wants to learn Quran, they would go to Sunni Maulvi. Imam is saying, no, don't do that. If you want to learn about your tariqah, you need to find teachers within your tariqah. Then Mullah says, it is advisable to read the Quran with wisdom and intelligence. One who reads without wisdom and intelligence, he is like a donkey. It will be beneficial if it is read with wisdom. There is one verse in the Quran, to God we belong and to Him we refer back to. If you read it with wisdom, then only you will understand it. So Mullah is saying that not just read for the sake of reading. I do hear this comment that, oh, we read translations or we play Quran all the time. Imam is not saying to learn it that way. Imam says it is advisable to read the Quran with wisdom and intelligence. Otherwise, he is calling us donkey. So when we are studying Quran, it has to be read with wisdom and intelligence. That's Imam's farman, Imam's instructions. Any verse we read, we need to look for ta'wil, not just the literal words. So these were few farmans I referred to so we can have the basis why we are talking about this topic. Now let's review some more references to focus on why in more detail. Maulana Hazrat Imam's Farman, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, 17th August 2007. Maulana says, understand how intellect and faith come together in our tradition. That intellect is there better to understand our faith. Intellect is there better to understand our faith. So intellect is a way to understand our faith. Without intellect, we can't understand our faith. So for wise, there is a need of an indication, ishara. Another farman, Hyderabad, India, September 23rd, 2006. Intellect is an integral part of your faith, of the way we interpret the faith of Islam and the way Hazrat Ali taught us to interpret the faith of Islam. Maula Ali taught us to read Quran, reflect, understand the ta'wil of it. How? Him being the Imam-e-Assas, the foundation Imam, who had done the ta'wil of Quran, the Quran which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, and Maula Ali, being the Assas Imam, being the Wasi of Prophet Muhammad, he did the Ta'wil of Quran. Maulana Hazar Imam in this Farman is emphasizing to us to learn the faith in the light of his teachings, and his teachings are purely from Quranic Tawilat. There is a Quranic verse, chapter 12, verse 105. It says, "And how many signs in the heavens and the earth do they pass by? Yet they turn away from them." How many signs? Another verse, chapter 41, verse 53. It says, "There are signs in your inner world, microcosm, and the outer world, outer universe, macrocosm." How long we are going to pass by those indications? There are signs, clear signs for the wise to pick, to learn. When we were in Indo-Pak and our peers came to us teaching us the Ta'wil of the Quran through the Ginan to convert us, to enter us into the Ismaili Satpanti Tariqa. At that time, we were like children who were entering kindergarten. We were like children who were entering into kindergarten. Now, let us review some of the Ginan part. Even at that time, peers have taught us. Peer being our Mai Bap, what did they say? So I pick here one of the words from Momin Chetamni by Sayyid Imam Shah. He says, "Eji noor thi nooraj pragatya, tenu waas che nooraj mahe, tene a satpant paida kida, khoji kadyo Quran mahe. Tene a satpant paida kida, khoji kadyo Quran mahe." Light manifested from light. Its abode is in the light. He created this true path, Satpanth, and searched it out from the Holy Quran. So he's teaching us at that time, Sayyid Imam Shah, that this path was being searched, came out from Quran. He found it in Quran. Now, another verse by Pir Hasan Kabiruddin from the Ginan Allah Ek Khasam Saboo Ka. "Eji Nabi Muhammad bhujo bhai, Nabi Muhammad bhujo bhai, to tame pamo imam." "Eji Nabi Muhammad bhujo bhai, to tame pamo imam. Mushrik man to kafir kahiye, momin dil Quran." Brothers, know Prophet Muhammad. Know Prophet Muhammad. Then you will attain the Imam. So Pir is saying to recognize the Prophet Muhammad, prepare our heart with the knowledge of Quran to invite the Imam in our heart. So very interestingly, we have been saying that we want to clean our heart because that's the place Imam wants to live. Our peers have taught us to invite Imam when you have the knowledge of Quran in your heart. This is one of the conditions. And what we've been discussing in Pakizgi of Amal, purity of our deeds, we have been learning from Quranic verses how to purify our heart. So in other words, it is the knowledge of Quran which is needed to purify our heart. When it is purified with the knowledge of Quran, at that time that heart is ready for the invitation for the Imam to come and sit in his heart. Another verse of Ginan by Pir Sadruddin. Eji Pir Sadruddin Yara Pade Re Quran Bahawar Mafi. Eji Pir Sadruddin Yara Pade Re Quran Bahar Lave Andar Lana. Bahar Jave Andar Lana. Shahne Sujano Apna Pirne Pichano Pisaya. Oh brother, Pir Sadruddin is giving you the teachings of the Holy Quran. Bring back those who have turned away from your religion. Recognize the Imam and know the Pir. This is very interesting words, very crucial words, I would say. Pir says, he is giving us the teaching of Holy Quran. Bring back those who turned away from your religion. Meaning, if we want to help those brothers and sisters who are taken away from this religion, it is the knowledge of Quran which will bring them back, which will keep them in the religion. And I would say this is such a wise teaching of our Pir, because today we are seeing this. Jamati members who are leaving our tariqah, it's only due to one reason. Those who misguide them, they misguide them from Quran. So Pir at that time, how many years ago? 500, 600 years ago. He had taught us. Our Mai Bap, our mother had taught us. Bring back those who have turned away from your religion. How? Through the teachings of Holy Quran. Recognize the Imam and know the Pir. Now, knowing the Pir here, I would relate it to our first Pir. Our first Pir being Prophet Muhammad, who brought for us Quran. And Pir Sadruddin, who is coming in the lines of Pirs, is actually taking the knowledge of first Pir and teaching us. And we are saying we will learn your knowledge, but we will not learn the knowledge through which you are teaching us. Does it sound logical?